The first sign of dementia is not memory loss. If that is the signal you are waiting for, you may already be 5 to 10 years too late. The truest early warnings are much quieter, physical, subtle, and happening long before the forgetting begins. I am Aura. As a psychological observer, I decode the signals our minds and bodies send before they become screams. We will uncover 12 of these signs. I must ask you to pay special attention to number 10. When neurologists witness it, they know their patient isn't just losing memories, they're beginning to lose their very self. But before we explore sign number 1, you must understand one brutal truth about timing. Because by the time memory problems are obvious enough for a diagnosis, massive amounts of brain tissue have already been destroyed. At this stage, reversal is nearly impossible. To grasp what this means, picture your brain as a sprawling, living city. Long before its central library can no longer find its own books, the overnight sanitation crews have stopped working. The traffic signals have fallen out of rhythm. The public monuments, the very markers of that city's unique character, have started to crumble. This is the silent process unfolding inside. The signs we are about to explore are your warning flares. They signal that the window to intervene is still open. They are your call to action. So let's begin. Sign number 1 is a fading sense of smell. This isn't just about a lingering cold or allergies. It's like the world is slowly being muted, its aromatic richness fading to grayscale. The sharp scent of coffee, the sweetness of a fresh-cut lemon, they become faint echoes of what they once were. This happens because the olfactory bulb, your brain's smell processing center, has a direct pathway into the hippocampus, the very seat of memory. It's one of the first areas to degenerate. A University of Chicago study confirmed this, finding that people who couldn't identify common smells were more than twice as likely to develop dementia within 5 years. This loss of scent is a quiet alarm from your brain's memory centers. But what happens when the very system designed to clean those centers fails? The next sign is hidden not in what you can sense, but in the hours you are senseless, during your sleep. That brings us to sign number 2. A fundamental breakdown in your sleep. I'm not referring to an occasional restless night, but a consistent pattern of waking up feeling as if you haven't slept at all. This points to a failure in the brain's glymphatic system. Think of it as your brain's highly efficient overnight sanitation crew. During deep sleep, they come out to scrub the streets and haul away toxic garbage like amyloid plaques. When sleep is constantly disrupted, that crew goes on strike. Garbage piles up, creating a toxic environment that further damages the brain itself, which in turn makes deep sleep even harder to achieve. So a broken sleep cycle literally drowns the brain in its own toxic waste, night after night. But the next sign isn't hidden in the darkness. It's something you can check right now with a pen and a document from 5 years ago. Your own hand may be writing a warning message you haven't learned to read yet. That warning message is sign number 3, a change in your handwriting known as micrographia. This isn't about your handwriting becoming messier. It's about it becoming progressively smaller, more cramped. Here's the test. Find an old birthday card, a note, something you wrote by hand 5 years ago. Now, look at your writing today. See the difference in size? The letters seem compressed, as if you're suddenly running out of space on the line. This happens because a part of your brain called the basal ganglia begins to fail. Think of it as the control center for the amplitude of your automatic movements. When it degenerates, the signal to write large weakens. Your hands' movements become smaller. It's a profound neurological signal, written in your own ink. From a signal written by your hand, we turn to one that happens entirely inside your head. Sign number 4 is the quiet collapse of your ability to mentally juggle. You remember a time you could cook dinner, listen to the news, and hold a conversation. Now, if someone speaks to you while you're reading, the words on the page dissolve. Your train of thought shatters. People often mistake this for simple distraction. The reality is a decline in your brain's executive function, managed by the frontal lobes. Think of it as your mind's air traffic controller. When it falters, every thought feels like it's trying to land on the same runway. This cognitive breakdown is silent, a private struggle. But the next signal is public, broadcast to the world with every step you take. Your own body may be walking out a warning message your brain can no longer send. This leads us to sign number 5, and that warning message is written in the silent asymmetry of your walk. Pay close attention to your arm swing. The next time you pass a large store window, just observe your reflection. It's a subtle loss of rhythm. Where there was once a natural, symmetrical pendulum swing, there is now stiffness. One arm might hang almost like a dead weight, refusing to join the simple dance of walking. This happens because the brain's internal metronome is starting to lose its beat. The automatic motor programs, governed by the motor cortex and the basal ganglia, are beginning to fail. This is the same system that controls the fluidity of your handwriting. This seemingly small quirk is the quiet origin of the stooped, shuffling gait we associate with advanced decline, a silent signal broadcast in public. But as telling as these physical signs are, the next warning is far more intimate. It's a message not from the body, but from the soul, a signal found in the hollowing out of joy itself. This hollowing out of joy is sign number 6. The clinical term for it is anhedonia. It's when the passions that once defined you, gardening, playing cards, your weekly book club, start to feel like gray, flavorless obligations. This isn't the heavy weight of sadness you might associate with depression. It's a quiet, pervasive emptiness, an internal silence where anticipation and excitement used to live. This is a hollowing out of the self. On a neurological level, your brain's reward system, the delicate dopamine circuits that carry the current of motivation, are malfunctioning. Your brain is literally losing its capacity to feel engaged, to anticipate pleasure. This internal fading is a profound warning. But the next sign isn't felt in your soul. It's seen with your own eyes, in the world around you, as the very space you navigate begins to warp and betray your judgment. This brings us to sign number 7, the gradual decay of your visual and spatial judgment. It's not about needing glasses. It's when you consistently misjudge the distance to the curb while parking, or you find yourself bumping into door frames in your own home, as if the dimensions of your world have subtly shifted overnight. Your eyes might be perfectly healthy, reporting the raw data. The problem is in the processing center. The brain can no longer build a reliable map from that data. This happens because of degeneration in the occipital and parietal lobes. They are the brain's cartographers, taking visual input and creating the 3D model of the world you move through. When they falter, the world itself becomes a confusing puzzle. First, the brain loses its ability to map physical space. But what happens when it loses its ability to map conceptual space? When the thread of a conversation or the plot of a favorite movie suddenly unravels into meaningless fragments, the next sign is not about the world you see, but the stories you can no longer follow. This brings us to sign number 8, the fraying of the narrative thread. You find yourself watching a movie, perhaps a complex drama you once would have savored. Now you are constantly rewinding, struggling to connect the characters to the plot. Conversations with friends start to feel the same, a series of disconnected statements rather than a flowing story. You keep losing track of who's who and how one point connects to the next. This experience is a profound signal. It points to degeneration in your temporal lobes, the part of the brain responsible for integrating language, memory, and meaning. They are the brain's storytellers. When they begin to fail, the world hasn't become more complicated. The internal tool for understanding its narrative is breaking down. This slowing isn't just about complex plots. The next sign is about a decline in something even more fundamental, your brain's basic processing speed. Sign number 9 is this delay made manifest, a dramatically slowed reaction time. You might feel it behind the wheel, that split-second hesitation when a car pulls out, or when you reach for a falling glass, but your hand arrives just a moment too late. The source of this delay isn't in your muscles. It's a lag in your brain's own processing speed. Think of your brain's wiring like high-speed fiber optic cable, insulated by myelin. As dementia begins, that insulation starts to fray. The signals still get through, but they are slower and less reliable. That split second is the lag you feel. This degradation of the myelin sheaths causes a fundamental delay between seeing and doing. We've been discussing failures of the brain's hardware, but sign number 10, the one we hinted at from the very beginning, is different. It touches the very core of who you are. Sign number 10 is a subtle, almost imperceptible shift in personality. The person who was once the family's patient diplomat now erupts with anger over small things. The outgoing, life-of-the-party individual becomes withdrawn and apathetic. This is perhaps the most heartbreaking sign for loved ones. They aren't just watching someone forget facts. They are watching the person they know, the very core of them, begin to erode right before their eyes. And the first instinct is to judge, to think, he's become so difficult, or she just doesn't care anymore. Stop. I need you to set that thought aside. We are not witnessing a character flaw. We are not seeing a conscious choice. We are witnessing a biological event. These changes happen because the frontal lobes, the part of the brain controlling personality, impulse control, and social judgment, are among the first areas affected. The brain tissue responsible for personality is literally disappearing. From the erosion of who you are, we turn to the erosion of what you can do. Sign number 11 is the struggle with the automatic. Think about a signature recipe you could cook with your eyes closed, or the daily route you drive. Suddenly, they require intense, step-by-step focus. You can still do them, but the effortless flow is gone. That unconscious competence has vanished, replaced by a frustrating, manual effort for every single step. This happens because your procedural memory, the brain's software for ingrained skills and habits, is becoming corrupted. The automatic programs stored in your basal ganglia and cerebellum are failing. When the brain's internal autopilot starts to glitch, the errors don't stay in your head, they spill out into your physical world. And our final sign is often what makes family members realize something is truly wrong, because you find the evidence in the most illogical places. This brings us to our final sign, number 12. Misplacing an object in a location so bizarre, it defies all logic. We all forget where we put our keys. Finding your wallet in the refrigerator or your phone inside the sugar bowl is something else entirely. This happens because the hippocampus, the brain's internal GPS that creates spatial maps, is beginning to fail. It no longer correctly logs the association between an object and its proper place. The memory of putting it there was never formed correctly. There are no steps to retrace. These 12 signs are the brain's quiet alarms. Some are invisible processes, like the toxic waste that a broken sleep cycle leaves behind. But other signs aren't hidden in the darkness. In fact, one piece of evidence is something you can check right now, with a pen and a document from 5 years ago. Your own hand may be writing a warning message you haven't learned to read yet. Okay, we've just walked through 12 deeply unsettling signs. If you feel a knot tightening in your stomach right now, know that it's a rational response. But do not click away. This is the moment to take a breath. This knowledge isn't a verdict, it's a map. It is the guide to the early battleground where you have the greatest chance to make a difference. These signs appear while your brain still has a profound capacity to rally, to reroute, to heal. The key is acting now while there is enough healthy tissue and time to mount a recovery. This is about reclaiming agency over your own cognitive future. It starts with the simple foundational things. Giving your brain the proper fuel it needs to function. Reinvigorating it with the flow of oxygen that comes from cardiovascular health. And keeping it strong through the constant challenge of movement and mental engagement. So if you've noticed any of these signs in yourself or someone you love, take a moment and share in the comments which one stood out to you the most. Your story matters. If this information provided value and a new perspective, give this video a like.
It helps more people find this map. And finally, subscribe.
Join us for more deep dives that empower you to understand the world and yourself more clearly.